back to Reloading Journey. Today I just want to talk about some of you, if you watched some of my past videos, you may have seen these bins down here. If this is your first one, I just kind of want to go over, as it's all about, I'm new to reloading, and especially on a single stage press. There's a lot of steps to this, and I wanted to make sure, you know, I'm not going to take one bullet through every step each time. At one time, you know, you wind up going through multiple steps at different times and coming back to the same bullets and finishing them out. So I wanted to come up with a way to make sure that I tracked that all the way through. Each bullet in its stage, I knew what stage it was in and what stage it was going to. So I'm just going to kind of bring it up here, show you how I go through, how I use these to help me keep that all organized. I think it's, for me at least, it'll really help, especially starting out, because like I said, especially with a single stage, there are so many steps to it. If you get them mixed up, all you're gonna have is problems. So this is just, so let me bring the camera over here. I'll kind of show you what all I have down here and how I go through that, and then we'll kind of run through it. Okay, these are the bins I use. I have them all marked, starting with washed, and I put capital on there. That's the brand of brass that I'm using. So once I get the brass, after it comes out of the tumbler, I wash it, dry it, it goes into this bin. Then when I'm ready to work with it, I put this bin up here. I'll show you, I put one down here with the top off. As I go through, deprime them, decap them, and size them. They come through the press, get dropped in this one. So I might sit there for an hour and just run a bunch through to where I have a bunch of them in this stage. And then the next day, that day, whenever, if I come back a week later, I know where each stage is. Once they're done here, I'll take them out of here. I've got a hand primer. I'll just sit there, maybe in front of the TV, in front of the computer or something, just priming them. Out of this one, prime it, gets dropped in this one. I get to see each case, and I know where it's at. Again, I come back later that day, a week from now, I know these still need to be primed. These are primed. Once they're all primed, then they go from, after I prime them, then they go from the primed one, I put in the other dye, and I flare them. They all get flared. So they come out of here, go into the machine, flare it, get dropped in this bin. After this bin, they come out. I add powder, seat the bullet, drop them into this bin. I've got a few in there now, but they still need to be crimped. So now I know that these ones here have powder, primer, bullets seated. They're ready for crimp. Put in the crimping dye, pull them out of this, crimp them, drop them into here, and they're finished. Now I know every bullet in this is ready to go out to the range, go out, be fired. If I have some, I'm working on some loads, some different loads, I might put them right into one of these cases, put a tag with it, what that load was. But if they're just for range and I'm just for plinking or just practice, they just go in here. When I'm ready to go out to the range, I can pour them in something else and take them out. But this way I always know what stage each bullet is in. So, like I said, it's not something I have to follow a bullet through all the way to the end once I start. I can come back later that day, a week, month, and I know what each one's at. And a lot of people might have other ways of doing it, or they've just been doing it a long time. They've got their system already set up. I wanted to make sure starting out that I set up a system right off the bat, just to save me a lot of headache. So this is it. I'm going to set up the camera and I'll just kind of take it through each stage and just kind of show you how I work it and how quick it can kind of be, and we'll call it good. Okay, so what I've got here, I've got my bin with the washed. Set it right here. Then down here, my one decapped and sized. Set it right there. Put my decapping die in, make sure everything's good to go. Then it's just real easy. Grab one, I can look at it while I'm going, kind of inspecting the case. See if I just see anything. I love the light on here, helps with that. You know, as the case goes in, I can clearly see it. Right there at the perfect level. And I can just sit here and go to town. Now, I've done all these. I'm done with decapping for now. And put those away. Now, of course, these would go to being primed. I'll do that. Usually I do that sitting in front of the computer. And just put primers in all of them. But then, so these bullets seated, ready to crimp. Where am I at here? Washed. This is what I want here. So all of these have already been primed, sized, primed, everything. So they are actually ready. They're and flared, and they're ready for powder. So from there, I've got my scale right here, my powder drop right here, one with the finished bullets. Actually, I just come over here and grab. And there might be a better way to set this up. I'm sure it'll change over time, but at least this way, I know that I am in the right stage, got the right pieces. I can read right on them where they're at. Check my powder. Go ahead and try it a few. That was right on. Right on. Right on. I knew it was going to be good. I was already sitting here doing something. I decided to do this video. So now, drop the powder, set it in here, grab it, put my bullet on. Whoa, see? Good thing I looked. I forgot to change out my die. So I've got my dies right here. Bullet seating die. Pop it in. Let's try that again. Boom. Goes down there, ready for crimp. Come back over here. Pull it in. So I keep my scale here. You know, I might do, just depends, maybe 10, 15 or so. Go ahead and check. Check the powder. I put in a new powder drop here, a new drum for the pistol. So much better than what came in it. What came in it, and I've got a video on that if you're curious how to change that out. This is the powder dropper with stand. It comes with the drum that's on it is for, I think it was 50 to 100, 10 to 100 grams. This is which made it kind of hard to get fine-tuned down to like 4.9, 5.2, those smaller. So I ordered the pistol one, and this goes from 2.5 grams to 50 grams. So it's a lot more precise. I've really been happy with it. It's just been so accurate. So sit here, do a bunch of these. now I'm done with many of these. I put everything away, come back next week, next month, you know, in an hour from now. I know, again, where everything's at. Now I can switch this out, grab my bucket that says finished, drop it down here, change out my dye to the crimping dye. Crimp. These are the Lyman stainless steel pro die set. I love them. It's already all set up. Probably bring out my calipers for the first couple just to make sure it didn't get bumped around in here or something, and it's still set up to make sure the bullets are still set to, which I should have done before, but I know they're good. I'd already done this, but I should have checked my seating depth. I try to do that every time. Every time I start, because I put them in here, put them, you know, you might bounce them or they get turned or something. So now I know that these are all ready to be crimped. That's my finish. Put it in, crimp it. Feels good. I do have a checker, boom. And then I've got one I can check 20 at a time. I usually just check them every once in a while, make sure that nothing's changed, make sure that they're still, the crimp is still good, and everything's still good on them. And that's that. Really enjoyed doing this so far. These won't be so needed when I get the progressive, the X10, the progressive press, to where one pull does everything you saw here in one. So it's not so much needed. You just need something for your wash brass and you're finished. So that is how I try to keep everything in track, so I don't miss adding powder or miss sizing it. I saw somebody where they had crushed their brass down because they didn't flare it, so they seated a bullet and it, you know, it's just, they just missed that step. This way I'm pretty sure makes it really hard to miss that in between step and keep me in line, especially starting out. I really think this is the way to go, at least for me. So, all right, thanks again for coming to see what I got, and we'll see you later.